I'm Joe Matz. Welcome to the first Past Week in Politics of 2019. Making headlines today is a Buzzfeed report that President Trump directed his lawyer, Michael Cohen, to lie to Congress about negotiations for a Trump Tower in Moscow. BuzzFeed claims 2 federal investigators as their sources. This report has yet to be confirmed by any other major news outlets. However, convincing or coercing an underling to commit perjury is an obstruction of justice and a federal crime. Earlier this week, William Barr, the latest nominee for U.S. Attorney General, was questioned by members of Congress. Democrats made sure to ask about his views on obstruction of justice.
You wrote on page 1 that a president persuading a person to commit perjury would be obstruction. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or any person who persuades another to, yeah.
Okay. You also said that a president or any person convincing a witness to change testimony would be obstruction. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And on page 2, you said that a president deliberately impairing the integrity or availability of evidence would be an obstruction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so what if a president told a witness not to cooperate with an investigation or hinted at a pardon?
You know, I'd have to know the specific. I'd have to know the specific facts.
Okay.
We are now on the 28th day of an unprecedented government shutdown because of a federal budget disagreement. President Trump wants funding for his border wall, and the Democrats will not provide it. Despite a strong attempt at compromise from a bipartisan group of senators, the president refuses to budge, and he blames Democrats for not ending the shutdown by giving him the funding he wants. That means that the government has been in a funding gap for almost a month because of a disagreement of about $5 billion in an over $4 trillion budget. Trump and Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, have recently engaged each other in a very public political back and forth. First, Pelosi wrote a letter to Trump suggesting that he postpone his State of the Union address or deliver it in writing due to security concerns. It is tradition for the Speaker of the House to invite the president to give the address. Trump responded Thursday afternoon. He wrote a letter disallowing Pelosi to fly on a military aircraft 30 minutes before she was scheduled to leave on a trip to visit troops in Afghanistan. There is no sign of compromise here, and these types of power moves broaden the divide that is keeping our government shut down. There are now over 800,000 federal workers who are unemployed. There are also 420,000 federal workers like TSA, IRS, FDA, and State Department workers who are currently forced to work without pay. On Ohio State's campus, some students have experienced delays when applying for the free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA. The university has allowed for flexible due dates on fees. Also, the university itself has had to pay about $3 million out of pocket to fund research that has been paid for by outside institutions. In international news, Britain's nearing exit from the EU has resulted in a power struggles of their own. British Prime Minister Theresa May faced a no-confidence vote in Parliament after a failed proposal at a Brexit deal. The confidence vote would have removed May and triggered a general election. She survived by 19 votes.
The ayes to the right, 306. The noes to the left, 325.
The ayes to the right, 306. The noes to the left, 325. So the noes have it. The noes have it. Unlock!
March 29th, the day Britain is scheduled to leave the EU, is dangerously close, and the British Parliament has no viable deal on the table. May will have to compromise in her next proposal, or Britain may have a no-deal exit that is predicted to cause economic turmoil. I hope you enjoy your Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, and I'll see you next week.